Welcome back. If you are just joining us, you are on to your favorite program, democracy and rule of law. In our second topic, we want to look at the judgment of the Court of Appeal that was delivered last Friday, that set aside the judgment of the Federal High Court delivered in October 2024 that nullified the local government elections in Kano State. We still recall that sometime in October last year, there was local government election, and some people went to court asking that the elections be nullified. Their grounds, their grievances and complaints were that the governor selected some stooges and friends and put them as part of the state electoral committee members. And they approached the Federal High Court, and the Federal High Court looked at the matter and nullified the election. The Attorney General of Kano State and other interested parties appealed against that judgment on the grounds that the Federal High Court had no jurisdiction, and the Court of Appeal had that matter, and last Friday delivered a judgment, setting aside that judgment. Now, to start with, was it a misadventure for the party that complained to have gone to the Federal High Court to ventilate the grievances that had to do with the subject matter of that case? What do you have to say?
Yes, I think it's part of the problem we have been experiencing in Nigeria. This idea of forum shopping, situations where, as a result of the fact that you feel or you know that you cannot get justice in a particular court or a particular hierarchy of courts, you go and look for a court that is different. And I think that's what happened in that case, because the opposition must have looked at the issue that it is difficult, if not impossible, for them to get justice at the state high court that is vested with the jurisdiction to hear that kind of matter. Of course, you know, elections of local government, local government structure in any state belongs to that state. So it is the state high court that ought to properly have jurisdiction over that matter. But the opposition knew that if they go to that state high court, there's no way they can get justice.
Why?
Obviously, because the governors control the state high court. The president controls the judiciary.
So we've been echoing and re-echoing the president of the judiciary.
Well, the judiciary is supposed to be independent on paper. But in reality, it's difficult to see the independence of the judiciary in our political process today. Very difficult. Politicians know this. That's why even those who are in government will tell you, go to court. They tell you, go to court because they know they are there. Most of the judges that you find in the court were appointed by the governors. Even the turnout of judgment. Look at the reasoning of some of those decisions. Some of those decisions are mechanistic justice. It's like you are what we call woo to the answer in those days when we are in school. When you have a mathematical equation and you work out the answer through the back way, using a different formula, but you still arrive at the answer. That's the kind of thing that we are having in Nigeria now, and it's unfortunate. Those who went to court actually have genuine grievances against that election. Because obviously it was improper for the governor to abuse his office in the manner he did by appointing card-carrying political persons into the electoral bodies. And it has been a common thing by even some governors.
Even the president.
Yes.
The INEC is filled
we had that woman who was Buhari's, what's that her name? PA, special assistant, who was part of INEC. Who was planted as part of the INEC commissioners and all of that. So we have always had this kind of tendencies.
Yeah, but Michael Monam, don't you think that as lawyers are the ones that fight these matters in court? Yes. Even if they don't think they will get justice, yes, we deal with open eyes, approach a court without jurisdiction, knowing that jurisdiction is the lifeblood of any case. Without jurisdiction, anything and everything done is null and void. Obviously. Because, like Lord Denny will say, you cannot put something on nothing and expect it to remain. It will definitely collapse. So with the lawyer knowing that where he's going, that everything done or purported to have been done will be nullified. Will he still go ahead because he thinks he will not get justice?
Political experience.
When this matter was, when the decision was made, qualifying the elections of those, we discussed it on this platform.
Yes.
And we said that we believe
that's on the proper forum, not the proper court.
Yeah.
Yes.
That they should have gone to the
State High Court.
No matter the kind of decision that you are going to get,
you have to go on appeal.
And then
if you are not satisfied,
appeal, you would have been, you see what the appeal court has done now is to dismiss the case on technical ground.
Yeah,
because they have not gone into the merit of the case.
Of course.
Because jurisdiction is involved.
Yes.
But if they had gone to the State High Court and got a judgment that was not favorable,
they can
I don't want to go Wuru like Macaulay said, because that is going too far. You know, a judgment cannot always be favorable to the two parties.
Yes. In any contest, one party will win.
Yes.
The other party agrees, can proceed on
the mechanism that is used to get the judgment. At the end of the day, you go higher. If at the Court of Appeal you still discover that you are still dissatisfied,
you go to the Supreme Court.
Go to the Supreme Court.
Yes.
Let the Supreme Court in its own wisdom decide the case and tell you go home and
give the final answer on that.
And that will be the seal of it. You understand? So instead of lawyers forum shopping, going from one place to the other, looking for
favorable
court that will be favorable to them, they should go to the proper court for the court with
proper
jurisdiction, so that the matter is determined once and for all. I have seen so many cases that struck out because of a want of jurisdiction.
Yes.
And I at times I shed tears because these are cases that the court would not look at.
Yes.
At all.
And the merit
at all.
Yes.
We just strike it out, and that is the end of the story. After the parties had labored, bringing evidence and all that, thinking that they are going to have the case. And in this case, it is the lawyer that should be there. The litigant does not know anything
about it. He's
not
the lawyer, so he doesn't know the proper court to go to.
He takes the case to the lawyer. The lawyer is the one that should say, yes, this is a case that should go to here.
Exactly.
Instead of going to look for Honorable Justice, so whom he knows, who was his friend. We all had friends who were, who were colleagues, and then who had judges here and there. You don't have to go to them.
Go to the proper court.
Go to the court that has
appropriate
jurisdiction. The moment you are there and you don't get the correct judgment, the judgment that satisfies your conscience, go higher. By the grace of God, before you reach the end, you will get something that will satisfy you.
Thank you very much. And then, Master Deji, do you think that there's need for our laws to be amended as regards the issue of selection or composition of the electoral body, either at the federal or state level?
Yes, I think we have canvassed this issue over time, that it is improper for the governor who has an interest in an electoral process to be the same person that will be appointing the people to monitor the electoral process, that same process, than which is interested, either as governor or as the head of a political party in that state, and that has been a big bottleneck because, humanly speaking, some of these people plan their interests in these electoral bodies. We have seen it happen time and time again over the years. And I think if we are to look at, we have had solution to this problem. It's just that in this country, solutions are not implemented. And unfortunately, the Ways report, if you remember the Ways report, had given what is probably a good solution to this problem, that the president should not be allowed to appoint those who will conduct elections
at the federal level.
And the governor should never, under situation, be allowed to be the one to, because once you appoint the arbiter, once you appoint the person who will conduct the process, that's the first level of rigging.
Yes, he who pays the piper.
Yes, that's the first level of rigging. Yes. Once the person you are appointing, he knows your mind. He probably knows the mandate you have given to him as a governor. And you are the one that will form the process. So he can't do otherwise. He can't do any other thing. You can see it happening in Lagos over and over again. If APC present a dog in Lagos as a candidate for chairmanship, he will win. Even though the people may vote somewhere else, but the dogs still win in Lagos. It's unfortunate because the governor controls whoever is the LASEC person. All of the staffs, most of them, they are cronies of the people that are known to the government. So when you have an electoral process like that, it's not truly free and fair.
Are you saying that our political structure is not stable?
It is not stable. It is not standard. It is not ethical the way it is now. And thank God that people are calling for electoral reform. Yes. But you can see how insensitive this present government is to. They are so indebted to that clamor for electoral reform because they know they came mainstream into government through these same flaws in the electoral process. Yes. You know, and once you know how to play the game, you can be a beneficiary of a flawed process.
But you can't say government is indifferent. The government said recently that that voting will be mandatory. If you refuse to vote, you will be jailed.
That is not reform.
That had been knocked off.
That's not a reform. That's not the kind of reform we are talking about.
Is that no matter the number of people who vote, compulsory, no matter the number of people,
it's still subject to manipulation.
Yes, it's a manipulation that we are talking about.
Yes.
If they had made it through, as people are voting, even with influence, they are voting. You are seeing the voting record
automated.
This thing as in other climes, there would have been no problem. Then you see, the electoral
paper counting, ballot.
Yes, paper actually made it like mandatory for this to be transmitted live to the but unfortunately, our court has said it is not mandatory, and whatever the court says is a law. So as it is now, whatever happens is that this government will not want to do anything that will make it impossible or difficult
for them to win election,
for them to come back to win the election. And this one, they are going towards one political party. Everybody is
swinging to one side,
moving to that same direction. At the end of the day, what we are going to have is one political party that is only able
to win election,
continue to destroy the system we call Nigeria.
Is that strictly sensu democracy?
It is not democracy.
Constitutional democracy.
It is not democracy.
Is it constitutional democracy?
That's why we said that. That's why we said that the democracy that we have now is in danger. Is in danger, and there has to be something that will salvage it. Yes. The present players, those who are in government today, they are not interested in any reform. They are not interested in the people, counting. They are only interested in using the people to get into office. That's why they are talking about compulsory voting, for instance. The ones that people had voted, are they counted? Have they counted it? Stanley said something. Stanley said it is not those who vote that determines the outcome of an election. He said it is those who count the vote.
Well, we thank you for gracing the occasion today. You have made very insightful contributions to the topics, but then as your parting shots in 2 to 3 seconds, what do you have to say about the first topic on the issue of carpet crossing, and then the issue of Kano local government election decided by the Court of Appeal?
Okay, for me, I want to say that it should be prohibited. We should ban carpet crossing as a matter of political practice in this country. It does not allow for the ethical growth of our democracy. It does not allow for morality in this country. So it should ban. We should prohibit it. There should be advocacy to force this present element to abrogate and prohibit carpet crossing. Once you are a member of a political party, you remain as a member of that political party till you die. Now, secondly, on the other issue of it has come the way it has gone, but I don't think that is the end. The people that went to court over that local government election, they can still go back to court, filing in the proper court.
They are still within time.
If they are still within time.
Yes. But,
so because it was only struck out.
Our time is,
especially on this Kano thing.
Yes.
They are out of time first.
Yes.
That is the first thing. And then they cannot go back to that court.
No, not that court.
After losing this, go to the not proper court after giving evidence and all that. That is one. Two, this our own carpet crossing that we have spoken about.
Yes.
I align myself totally. But I don't believe that somebody should belong to a political party until he dies, until he vacates the particular office that that political party brings him or brought him into. He cannot cross carpet. He cannot defect to another political party. But as long as he's holding that office, because he was voted into that office by a political party, then he should not defect to another political party.
Thank you very much. Here is where we are going to draw today in this program, Democracy and Rule of Law, a program of Galaxy Television. Next week, we will be having other topical issues that border on democracy, rule of law, constitutionalism, politics, and governance. We have heard today that cross-carpeting, the way it is done presently, is endangering our democracy, and that forum shopping in politics is not the right way to go. We'll be drawing the curtain here and see you next week.